Hi everyone, my name is Nicole Effendi from Statistics for Business Class B, and in this video I'll be showing and also explaining the results of the PLS-SEM analysis for the research model using Smart PLS. This includes both outer and inner model test evaluation from the collected data. This video will be divided into three parts. Part 1, Introduction, Part 2, Data Analysis, and Part 3, the Conclusion. To begin the analysis, I first imported the Excel CSV comma-separated values file into the Smart PLS. And after successfully importing the file, I moved the variables needed into the drawing pad. In this case, the needed variables are 2 independent variables, 1 mediating variable, and also 1 dependent variable. And in the end, I connected all the variables and managed to get this model. As it can be seen on the screen, the first independent variable is price value, the second independent variable is social value, the mediating variable is hope, and the dependent variable is trust. Now we begin with the data analysis. The first test is the outer model test, which evaluates the validity and reliability of the measurement model. First, we check the factor loadings. As we can see, most of the indicators in the model have loadings above 0.70, which is considered acceptable. Second, we look at the consistency reliability. We use 3 measurements: Cronbach's alpha, composite reliability, and row A. As we can see, all values are above the minimum threshold of 0.70, which means that the constructs are reliably measured. Third, for convergent validity, we use the average variance extracted, or AVE. As we can see, all AVE values are above 0.50, indicating that the indicators explain more than half the variance of their constructs. And lastly, on the outer model test, is the discriminant validity. I checked using 3 methods. The first is the Forner-Lackler criterion, which showed that each construct's AVE square root was greater than its correlations with other constructs. Second is the cross loadings, where all items loaded higher on their own construct than on others. And third is the HTMG ratio, which remained below 0.85 for all relationships. All of these confirm that each construct is both valid and distinct from one another. After finishing with the outer model test, we move on to the inner model test, or the structure model, which shows the relationships between variables. First, we check for collinearity using the VIF values. As we can see, all VIF values are below 3.3, meaning there are no collinearity problems in the model. Second, we test the direct effects. As we can see, we use the bootstrapping technique and interpret the t-statistics and p-values. If the t-statistics is above 1.96 and the p-value is above 0.05, the effect is considered significant. And several parts in the model meet this criterion, confirming significant direct effects between variables. Third, we evaluate the indirect effects to identify mediation. If both the direct and indirect are significant, this shows partial mediation. For example, one variable affects another indirectly through a mediator, while still maintaining a direct effect. Fourth, we analyze the R-square values. These indicate how much of the dependent variable's variance is explained by the model. For example, one construct has an R-square of 0.48, which is considered a moderate explanatory power. Fifth, we interpret the F-square effect size to assess the impact of each exogenous variable. Some variables have large effects while others are moderate or small, helping us identify key drivers in the model. And lastly, in the inner model test is the Q-square. We examine Q-square values to test for predictive relevance. All Q-square values are greater than 0, indicating that the model has predictive power for each endogenous construct. In conclusion, the PLS-SEM analysis shows that 1. Each independent variable has a significant effect on its respective dependent variable, based on both direct and total effects. 2. In terms of mediation, some variables partially mediate the relationship between independent and dependent variables, confirmed through both direct and indirect significance. Since both effects are significant, this is categorized as partial mediation. This means that mediating variable plays an important but not exclusive role in explaining the relationship. And that's all for this video presentation, and thank you for watching.